What's going on, people? Welcome to the match preview. Quick turnaround after the Leicester game as Palace face Wolves at Selhurst Park on Tuesday night. As always, let us know your comments down below regarding the game, how you feeling ahead of the game. And also, if you do enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You know the drill already. Patrick, you was, of
Yes.
course, out watching the game against Leicester. It wasn't the greatest of performances, but we're 2 games unbeaten going into the Wolves game.
Right.
What's your thoughts ahead of the game?
Obviously looking to get the points. Don't care about performances right now. Much I'd like us to improve. I'd like to get the points against Wolves. 4 points in 2 is not what I really wanted. I wanted 6 out of the 2 games. But if we get a win against Wolves on Tuesday and 7 points out of 9, I'll take that. Moves up the table. Right now, we are currently in 12th place, 13th place, actually, as the matches are going on right now. But we're only, I believe 2 points off of the bottom 3, 2 points off the top 10. So, again, let's just get some points on Tuesday and move on.
Yeah, for me, I think this is not a must win because we're not in a bad situation, even if we lose this game. But we were talking about winnable games. And
Right.
now these are winnable games, and we have to hold ourselves accountable. I thought the performance against Leicester wasn't great. Of course, we picked up the point, but the way that we picked up the point, I mean, against the side that's been struggling all season, just one shot on target, we have to be doing better going forward in this game. When you have Zaha on the pitch and Edward on the pitch, it just wasn't good enough as a whole team. We didn't really get up there. But in terms of the lineup, I feel like it's only right that we talk about it. People were unhappy about Elise not starting and Schlupp starting in midfield. In this game, do you think Vieira should go back to Elise starting and maybe Jeffrey Schlupp going back on the bench?
Well, I watched the Wolves game yesterday. They play a 4-3-3. So they have let's see, they have Neves, Nunez, and Moutinho in the middle. Kind of similar to our midfield if we play Olise, Doucouré, and Eze, more of a flair type midfield, so not a Elise type midfield where they get stuck in. So I would be very happy to go back to Olise, and it might have been his plan all along. Maybe rest Olise for the Leicester game, get him up 25 minutes, impact the game. But yeah, I would like to see him go back to that. What we don't need to happen tomorrow, Tuesday, is Doucouré get an early yellow card. It takes him out of his game, allows him not to be able to tackle as hard. And let's be honest, in an Olise, Eze, and Doucouré midfield, Doucouré does most of the tackling. Yes, Eze can tackle, but you make the point of ball retention with Olise, and Eze has to be higher. So I'd be very happy to go back to midfield of Olise, Eze, and Doucouré for the Wolves match.
Yeah, I don't think there's many other changes that are needed. I think Elise has to start in this game. And for me, I don't think it's a coincidence. I said it in the live match reaction show as well. The fact that when when Elise and Jordan Ayew have started ever since the break, we have scored against Chelsea, we scored against Leeds. And the game that we don't start them, we have one of our worst attacking performances. Right. You have to have Elise starting. You can't have that debate that Elise came on the pitch and I believe he only had 8 touches.
He did.
He came on the 60th minute when the game was already done and dusted. I feel like the way we started the game, we need to be more up for it. We're at Selhurst Park, so for me, Elise has to start. And apart from that, maybe a change in right back. But then again, who can play there?
We have no options. There's no option.
Right, yeah, but I think going into this game, the Wolves will be once again targeting Joel Ward. I felt he didn't have the greatest of games, but apart from that, Patrick, no other changes. It's just the one change. I feel like we'll be good enough. We'll be good enough if we just put Elise there, especially going forward.
Well, here's an interesting point. Left back. Clearly, Mitchell is either off form or injured. He's not playing well. Hasn't played well most of the season. And Jairo came yesterday and played quite well. But the issue is, playing on the right side, attacking, is a gentleman named Adama Traore. I'm not sure I want to see Traore going up against Ward or Jairo. I'd much rather be Mitchell. So that'd be the only thing I might think about is maybe starting Jairo. Jairo did really well. On the right side, they have Daniel Podence. Both of them actually are very quick and very good. So honestly, we're going to have a problem with our fullbacks tomorrow if we don't play differently. Dee, you're absolutely right. They targeted Joe Ward incessantly yesterday. It was awful. The 1-2s around him were terrible. But we don't have an option. So we could bang on about Joe Ward right back all we want and how he's this and he's that. He's putting in performances the best that he can. We don't have Klein. We don't have Ferguson. We don't have a replacement. You can't put Caden Rodney in there. We don't have Richards even as a possible. You can't put Tompkins there. It's going to be Joe Ward. Let's hope that somehow we can protect him a little bit better and he doesn't get targeted. Because you're absolutely right. They're going to target him tomorrow without a doubt. Sorry, Tuesday without a doubt. So we've got to do a better job.
Yeah. Well, let's look at the league table as we do in the match preview show. So pre-game week 11, as we can see right now, there are still games going on, but it's mainly the City game and also Arsenal versus Leeds whilst we're recording this. But Patrick, look, we're 3 points off 8th. When you look at it, if we win against Wolves, we can potentially go up to 8th. But we're also, 2 points off 18th. So in terms of the league table, you can see it's still wide open going into this game.
Yeah.
But I think a win, just like in the Leicester game, I think a win just gives you that boost. When you go into games, let's say we beat Wolves and we're sitting 10th or 9th. I think it gives us a massive boost going into the next game against Everton because we've got more incentive to win. So that's why I feel like these games, if we draw against Wolves, I don't think we might be there and about still, but you don't want to let the gap get bigger. Right now, the gap is in a very good spot. You can still win and recover from the Leicester game, but that's if you win. If you don't win, if you get a draw against Everton, that gap is going to start widening up.
No, I agree. It's fine margins right now. The Premier League is the ultimate league in professional football right now. It's the top league. So on any given day, anybody can beat anybody else. You mentioned before we started the show, we beat Wolves last year twice, and our best performances by far against any one side. A win on Tuesday is massive. So again, the margins are very tight. Lose and we're still in that that bottom half. Win and we're 3-4 point areas up the table. So it is a big game. Again, for me, better performance is needed. I would like, but honestly, I don't really care. Give me the 3 points Tuesday. Sign for it right now, and let's move on to Everton after.
Yeah, 100%. I think the 3 points is the most important thing. But of course, if there's a nice performance as well, that will add up. But you mentioned Wolves, so let's quickly talk about us versus Wolves. So in our last 5 matches against them, we won 3 games, lost 2, and we actually haven't drawn a game against Wolves in our last 5 games. And I'll say this, Patrick. Hopefully it doesn't bite back. But last season, I believe Wolves at home and away was our easiest games so far last season in terms of the way we control the game. It was fairly straightforward. I feel like we've done a very good job. But of course, they've sacked Bruno Lage. They've got a new manager there. So in terms of confidence with the interim manager against Nottingham Forest in the last game, they got very lucky to get a win. I feel like they were poor. In fact, I've seen a Wolves fan say that it was like 2 championship sides facing each other. So look, they're not great, Patrick. Does that still give you confidence now that we're at Selhurst Park as well and we've won our last 3 games against them out of the 5?
So the thing that gives me confidence is, one, we're playing at home, and we've done really well at home, except for the Arsenal and Chelsea matches. It's become a bit of a fortress again. So that's a positive. You're absolutely right, Dee. I thought the away performance was the best one we put in years in the Premier League. It was brilliant. The Mateta, and it was Zaha, right? Scored the other goals, right? And it was 2-0. Yeah. Was a very good performance. But again, I mean, I don't want to take Wolves for granted. I was at the Philly Fan Fest yesterday with a bunch of Palace fans watching the Leicester game. After that, I stayed a little bit longer to watch the Wolves game. It wasn't a good performance. They got lucky. They got a penalty. I guess it was. I think it was Neves scored the penalty. Yeah. Right. They got the win, but that's a definite winnable game. But again, you can't take it for granted. We're playing now teams either below us or in the bottom 10. We got to pick up points. Again, a draw would not be great, but we need to win this game on Tuesday.
I think we need to keep it clean sheet. As on paper, they've got good attackers, but so far this season, I believe they've scored 4 goals,
4,
including the penalty yesterday.
Yep. 4 goals.
They've struggled to score goals all season long. I feel like in the Leicester game, we kept a clean sheet. We should build on that clean sheet, get another clean sheet, and hopefully be more offensively dangerous, because they have, in their last 5 games, forget about our last 5 games against Wolves, head to head. In their last 5 games, of course, they beat Nottingham Forest, and they've got, they've only got 2 wins in 5. And the wins, I believe, are against Southampton, a struggling side, and also Nottingham Forest, a struggling side.
Right.
You don't want another win from Wolves, because it seemed like there's a trend. They only will beat against struggling sides. It will show where we're at.
It's a great point. And as far as striker-wise, their top goal scorers are Podence and Neves, both with 2. They have Diego Costa back. I've been watching him play. He's been awful. Absolutely terrible. So there's no reason why Gay Anderson can't shut him down. They have no real backup. Wang Chi is been in and out of the squad. They don't really have another striker. They signed Costa as an emergency because, again, there were injuries up front. There's no reason why they can shut him down. My issue is their midfield you have to respect. Coutinho, their attacking players, Neves, Nunez. They're good players.
Nunez is a very good footballer, in all honesty. He's a very good footballer.
Exactly. But from a striker standpoint, they don't have one. So if they're the thing is they're going to attack our weaknesses, and that's going to be the outside. I think in the middle would be fine. Very, very good. And even middle defensively with if we start Olise and Eza. But I'm really concerned about the attacking on the outside. Again, I mentioned it before. It's going to be probably Podence and Traore. Great speed, great technical players, very tricky. Got to be careful. But having said that, like I said, they don't have a Costa has not been on form. He's not the Costa from Chelsea. We've got a good chance to you just said, keep that clean sheet, get a goal. Whether it's Edouard, Zaha, Olise, Eza, Ayew, whoever it is, just get a goal, get another second goal, and just get out of there with a nice 2-0 win. My prediction, by the way, is going to be 2-0 for that game.
Well, we spoiler alert from Patrick. We haven't moved into the score predictions, but I already said it. But look, in terms of Palace, who are we expecting to perform? Because there's a few players that didn't perform in the Leicester game that I'm expecting to step up. One of them is Wilf. Whether he didn't get enough sport, that's another conversation that we could be having. But I feel like Wilf didn't really perform. And of course, there's the likes of Wardy and other players that you can talk about as well. But for me, the most important player that I'm looking at is Wilf. He needs to step up against Wolves, and hopefully he does that with a bit more backup at left back, because he felt isolated at times. I didn't see Tyrick Mitchell really supporting him when he was playing. And then when Jarrah came on, he done a bit better, but he still didn't have enough support. And it's actually funny because Vieira subbed him off.
Yeah, so I'll get to the lack of support. I think that when you don't start Olise either as midfielder or on the outside, they're going to always double team Wolf. That's what they did yesterday. So that frustrates him. Needs to have a better performance. Was okay against Leeds second half, got the assist. Wasn't great yesterday. Subbing him off, to me, confused me yesterday. And this was looking to rest him. I didn't understand that. Looking for a better performance from Eza. Played really well against Leeds second half. Not as much on the ball. First half, he was kind of on it. Second half, wasn't. And Olise, if he starts tomorrow, I expect him to have a good performance. Edouard's been coming on. I like the fact he's getting these starts back to back to back. Why he got some yesterday, I have no idea. He was by far best attacking option up front. Don't know why Edouard came off yesterday. Expect him to have a good performance. And Ayew just puts in the shift. And we're going to need him tomorrow because, again, if he's playing on the right side, it's going to be, I guess, Podence on that side. He's going to have to help out. Going to have to help out Wardy because Wardy cannot handle that, as you saw yesterday. Even yesterday, he's getting 1-2 past him. But on the other side, again, we talk about Mitchell. Mitchell has to get more forward. But again, D, I got to think it's not. I don't think. I think he's injured. He's not look himself.
He doesn't look the same. He doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
And he also did get injured in the game. But even before his actual injury, he just doesn't look the same. He doesn't look the same this season. To be fair, he had a good game against Villa, where he got an assist, I believe.
He did.
But he's been limited. He's been limited performance where I can say, oh, Mitchell's been good. But in terms of our injury concerns, of course, Will Hughes was out injured. We're not too sure regarding Richards. Could he be back? But then again, I don't think he will play regardless of if he's back. I think Hughes is not a big miss there because he's not really a starter. So there isn't really anything to talk about in terms of injuries that can really impact us. Of course, it would be nice having Nathaniel Klein back just to give competition to Wardy, who struggled against Leicester and arguably against Leeds as well. But of course, it doesn't seem like he'll be back. But Patrick, of course, you've done your score prediction and you've done a spoiler alert. But who do you expect to score? So you're expecting a 2-0 Palace win. Who do you expect to be on the score sheet tomorrow against Leeds?
Definitely Edouard to keep his streak going. And I was gonna go Olise, but I'm gonna actually switch and go to Zaha. No scored in the last 2-3 matches. Definitely look frustrated coming off on Saturday, and I think he's ready to score. So I'm gonna say Edouard and Zaha to score. And I'm again looking for a clean sheet. I want to go quickly to the goalkeeper because I thought Guaita had a very good match yesterday, very commanding. They put a lot of crosses in, a lot of corners, a lot of free kicks. And I'd called for Johnson to come in for the Leicester game. I'd take that back. Guaita, again, showing why he's keeping the gloves. If he keeps doing that, and again, a clean sheet, I'll keep him in there. So great job by VG yesterday.
Yeah. For me, I'm going for a 2-0 as well. I think we should keep a clean sheet against Wolves. They've struggled going forward, but then it'll be so Palace because we talked about Leicester's defense. Leicester's being one of the leakest defenses in the league, and we only had one shot on target. So with Palace, things tend to work backwards. We make life harder for ourselves. But I'm expecting a 2-0, a clean sheet. I'm expecting a better performance going forward. Elise should start in this game, and if he does start, as Patrick said, teams can't double man on Wilf and put 3 guys on him or 2 guys on him, and spaces will open up. I think Elise just provides that on the other side, which we didn't really have with Jordan Ayew, and in midfield as well. Midfield wasn't strong enough. But look, let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. How are you feeling ahead of the game? If it's a draw, would you be happy with that, or is it not a must win, but we need to ideally win in these games? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you to Patrick, and thank you to everyone who's also been watching the videos. Subscribe to not miss out on future content. And until next time, up the pace.